Well, hello my children. Welcome to Jesus and Pals. I'm Jesus. My guest this morning is a die-hard conservative lunatic, conspiracy theorist, radio host, and an esteemed author. His newest book is How the Theory of Evolution is Crucifying God. Ladies and gentlemen, Glenn Beck. God bless you all. Thank you for having me on, Jesus Christ. Please call me Jesus. Of course, I'd like to talk to you about your book. Much of what I read bothered me greatly. First, what is your opinion of the theory of evolution? Evolution is a myth created by liberal atheists who intend on corrupting the minds of children in order to push their own agenda. How can evolution be real? I've never seen a half monkey, half human. Did evolution just stop? I've seen a few half monkey, half humans in Congress. I'm kidding, of course. Glenn, you must first understand that we did not come from monkeys, but rather we share a common ancestor with modern primates that lived 5 to 8 million years ago. One species diverged into gorillas and chimps while the other led to hominids like us. Oh, and there were species that were half ape, half human, and they were called Australopithecus sediba. They lived 2 million years ago. Sorry Glenn, you just missed them. Well, Jesus. Even with all of your fancy science, evolution still can't answer any of the important questions like the origin of life, the origin of consciousness, or the origin of purpose. Evolution has no intention of solving those questions. Evolutionary theory deals mainly with how life changed after its origins. Evolution doesn't try to investigate how life started. I still don't understand why you have to see religion and science as being mutually exclusive. Well, because God doesn't create things randomly. These so-called scientists say that chance simple organisms became capable of replicating themselves, and that through random mutations out came the species of today. That's idiotic. A being as complex as a human must have been created by God. If we were created randomly, then we might as well have 4 arms and 2 heads, or 9 eyes and 1 foot. Glenn, my son, you don't understand the element of randomness in evolution. It's not about anything being able to happen and relying upon chance, but rather that the process of mutation, which creates genetic variation, is random in the sense of whether the mutation is beneficial or not. Selection is not random, but rather, it favors beneficial variants that are better suited to the organism's survival, and over time complex adaptations can evolve. Nonetheless, most biologists have rejected Darwinism and no longer agree with the ideas put forth by Darwin. That's not true. Biologists have not rejected Darwinism, but rather his theory has been modified over time. Darwinism isn't perfect. For example, Darwin said that evolution generally proceeds at a slow pace, but we now know that evolution can proceed at a relatively rapid pace. There are pieces of the theory of evolution, oftentimes called bundles, which are in a state of continual modification. Modifying theories to better represent how things actually are is the role of science itself. And according to a 2009 poll by Pew Research, 97% of scientists believe in evolution. Jesus, what do they know? There are just too many flaws with the theory of evolution. Like what? Well, first off, if evolution were true, the fossils would document a gradual change from ancestral forms to the descendants, but this is not what paleontologists find. Instead, they find gaps. These gaps in the fossil record clearly disprove the evolutionary theory of descent with modification. The fact that some transitional fossils aren't preserved does not disprove evolution. Evolutionary biologists don't expect to find all transitional forms because many organisms don't fossilize well, due to the fact that environmental conditions for forming good fossils are uncommon. So, science actually expects that for some evolutionary changes there will be gaps in the record. Oh, and many transitional fossils do exist. For example, fossils between modern birds and their dinosaur ancestors. You just don't understand Jesus. Evolution and religion are incompatible. It saddens me to hear you say that, my son. I will admit that there are some religious beliefs, like a six-day creation, if interpreted literally, would contradict science. However, it's important to remember that science deals with the natural world and religion deals with beliefs beyond the natural world. Don't buy into the false dichotomy between science and religion. Glenn, there are also many people whose beliefs incorporate both elements of religion and evolutionary science, like my friends Asa Gray, Alvin Plantinga and Ronald Fisher. To all of you listening today, I hope that you find that a greater understanding of nature enriches your faith in God. Thank you for being on the show, Glenn. To all of my children, God bless and good night.